Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the I Fox with Juice podcast. I'm your host, Juice, and I'm here with my co-host, Reen. What's happening, Reen?
What did you just say? My ears are ringing. God damn it. It's bugging me.
It's still happening?
Yeah, I can still hear them ringing. Let's try to make it through.
Just to give a little context, what was the issue with all that?
Because I was playing with power tools earlier, working on my house.
Do you really need to emasculate these men like that, Reen?
Sorry.
It's fucked up.
Oh, man. I should have took a picture of it, too, with me, like, holding the cement saw, whatever it's called.
I'll be honest. I'll be totally honest right here. You definitely have more experience with tools than I do, and I have a job where I need to use tools here and there, so you got one on me there. You got a few on me there, I'm sure.
Oh, thanks. Okay. Sorry.
Okay, I'm not ashamed of it. I'm not the one always trying to act like I'm this manly man, you know. I'll be straight with shit.
Thanks, man.
No problem. I am a bit upset at you though that
What happened? What'd I do?
Well, there's this big revelation with my girl Kat Zingano today.
Oh, sorry.
That her titties ain't real, and I thought you would have known better. I thought you would have steered me right. I was here thinking this whole time that they were real, and they're not, and I'm just sad.
Oh, she got a decent size because you couldn't tell.
Yeah, whoever her surgeon was did a really good job. I will give her that. And I'm not gonna be these guys. Why'd you take them out? Come on, man. No, I've seen more women as of late talk about this BII, breast implant syndrome or something, and I don't know how real it is, but then again, I'm not a woman and I've never had breast implants, but it seems like many women have complained about it. It seems legit. I think it's not a universal thing. I think some women take to it, some don't, and if she was feeling bad and her solution was to take them out, props to her. I just feel like I've been lied to. Kat Zingano can still do no wrong in my book, but yeah, I was like, what? No. This is past like 8 years of all been a lie.
Oh, sorry.
It's okay.
At least she did the right thing, though. Like, she took them out. She realized it was bad for her. I mean, you're putting foreign objects in your body. Like, it's not like a knee surgery where, you know, they have to put screws or anything. You know, they're fucking fun bags. I mean, some people, you know, some women feel bad after they have kids, or, you know, in her case, it's all the weight cutting and having a child, and, you know, things happen and you don't feel like much of a woman anymore. You know what I mean? You know, you lose a part of yourself. So you thought, and later on, it's like, why did I even get this stuff? Like, what's the point of this? It gets in the way. Depending on the size, it might hurt your back too.
And I think also it's a thing of age too, you know, older and wiser, but also she's still doing the damn thing. She's still being a mom, obviously, and she's still fighting. So your body's not gonna be as elastic, be as durable as it once was. And maybe she was just realizing too. I was like, fuck this shit. But I love the picture, not because it was Kat holding her titties. It was just, I love that she was being outright about it and saying this was my thing, and Jesus Christ, I mean, she showed her scars. How more outright can you be than that?
I love that about her, that she's been a lot more open about what's been going on with her.
She went through so much for so long that's like she had to keep shit under wraps for her own sanity, but now it's like she's getting over it, she's working through it, either or. And she's just being upfront about it and helping people a lot. I told you off air, and I still recommend you should watch that Why We Fight show on ESPN Plus. I finally seen all of them, and it's very powerful. Every single one of them. I don't think you'll be disappointed, Rain.
Man, I would love to see her fight soon, though. There's like no announcement, right? Not yet.
Nothing yet. No, she's been swimming a lot. That's all I've been seeing.
She looks really good. I mean, her trainings and everything. I love that she's posting her training videos again and getting into it. So, because there was a time where she wasn't really posting a lot of the training videos. It seems like she's happier, she's healthier, she's stronger. I can't wait for her to get back in the cage.
Yeah, I'm right there with you. I guess this is a thing that probably should have gone in the news story, but we talked a lot about titties last week with Angela Hill and stuff, so I guess we just did this as an intro.
Oh, Angela, I love her.
But yeah, we need to speak about Angela. She's up on the docket for the rewind. We got not a great preview, but a preview nonetheless of this weekend's Norfolk card. Quite a bit of headlines, not too many matchups, and kind of fucked up but amusing news story. So let's just jump into it. So let's start with the rewind for UFC Auckland. And something that I failed to mention last week, Kai Kara France was on the card, which I really should have thought about. I mean, there's not too many Kiwi fighters. He's one of them. He was on the card, and I totally slipped my mind. I didn't know until the fighter started. I'm like, oh shit, he's on here. He fought Tyson Nam, who's actually a pretty, he's decent. He's a fun fighter. It was a fun fight. Typical Kai Kara France performance. I just feel a little guilty that I didn't shout him out last week. And well, you too, Rain. I know he's a favorite of yours too.
I saw him on the card, but I figured we were just gonna leave him off the docket because he fought in December.
Yeah, I think it was when he fought Moreno, right? That fucking war, yeah.
Yeah, he just had that fight. It was a tough fight for him, which he lost. Moreno looked fucking ridiculous. He's back. He's awesome. And then here he is again, Kai Kara France, fighting again after that. And this was a tough one for him, too. Even though he got the UD win, it's still a tough go for him.
It actually kind of reminded me a lot of the Moreno fight. Not as crazy, not as exciting, but he was having like a similar game plan. And Nam, even though he was losing, he was in his face. So it was a clear-cut victory for France, but it was not an easy win by any stretch. So good for him. Just wanted to give him a shout out since we forgot. My bad, man. But good performance. But the first fight that we did cover last week was a fight between strawweights Angela Hill and Loma Lookboonmee. Angela Hill dominated to a unanimous decision win. So that's, I believe, 4 in a row for her, right?
I think so, or 3. I have to look again. But yeah, out of 6 fights, I think she's had like 4 wins. And they're all short notice fights.
It's crazy because I think somebody posted a little bit after the fight. They screenshotted a picture of her record last year, and she was like 1-3. Like before she went on the streak, she was like 1-3. Granted, I think one of them was a loss to Courtney Casey, which shouldn't have been a loss. So she probably should have been 2-2. But how she's turned it around, man. I mean, we went on so long last week about Hill and how awesome she is, and this is a great performance too. Because it was pretty impressive how she dealt with Loma. I mean, this is not an easy fight. She made it look, she was well prepared, and she didn't use that much quote unquote MMA. It was largely a striking battle. Now there was times where she that teep that Loma landed, I think in the end of the second round, that center like 30 fucking feet back. That shit was amazing. I mean, Loma's still super dangerous, but she handled her mostly with her own striking style. It wasn't too many takedowns. It wasn't just outwitting her and being the veteran in there. She had a really good performance.
Okay, let me ask you this. Hill reminded me at the beginning with her like footwork, and her style reminded me of like a Dominic Cruz type, style. Which didn't work for her. With this one and some of the past fights, she's using her range more. It seems like she's in their face more, and she's just like in and out and popping those jabs. And with this one, I felt like she didn't give Loma any respect at all. She was there to fight her any style, any way, and yeah, she just looked completely comfortable with the goddamn Muay Thai champion. It's so wild to me where she was and then where she's at now.
Yeah, and Loma was having some success with the tie clinch. Obviously, she's a master at it, but Hill hung in there. It wasn't like she just kept getting beat up in the clinch. She got out and she landed her own knees and she landed some elbows. She did, yeah, like you said, she kind of gave her no respect. She did almost everything she wanted to. And as far as the whole footwork and range thing, I think she's found her groove. I really do because when she first came on the scene, she was actually kind of known as like a power striker. I think she had a knockout maybe in like her debut pre UFC, and I think she may have had a knockout going into the Tough House or whatever. She was kind of known for her power. She had her few fights in the UFC, got cut, went to Invicta. She knocked a few girls out in Invicta. I still remember I believe the Stephanie Eggink one. That shit was brutal. She was known for knocking girls out for a bit, and that's what she was doing. And then she came back in the UFC. She won the title, and she came back in the UFC. And yeah, she was doing kind of like that Dominic Cruz footwork, but not with any real reason at times. Kind of just wasting energy for no real good reason. Yeah, I mean it looked good and it was effective to a point, but she was getting tired, and that was kind of a thing with her. She's a little tricky, but she's gonna start getting tired eventually. So just kind of get in her face. I think now she's realized like I'm not this evasive technical fighter, and I'm not this power puncher. I can be both. I can be whatever I want. I still think she's kind of like an outfighter. Like she wants her range. She needs some time and some space to do what she wants. But if you force her to do some stuff, she reacts well. Like I think a lot of that Andrade fight when she came back in the UFC, that was a crazy ass war. And she hung in there with Andrade. And Andrade clearly won, but she had no problem battling out with her. So I just think she's found her groove. I think she's just loose now and she's just confident.
Yeah, and I love the fact that she wants to fight more. She is that Muay Thai fighter. She doesn't want to sit around and wait because that just, it does nothing for her. She doesn't get to stay ready, I guess, so to speak, right? If she's constantly looking for these short notice fights or people pulling out, it's like, yeah, it works well for her. So I think that definitely helps her out too. Keep her busy and then she'll start climbing up the ranks. I don't think she moved at all with this one because Loma was below her anyways, but
She got paid.
yeah, do you think that she might go for the title because of her performances? Just the way, her popularity, how exciting she is? Like, do you think she'll get that shot? Just how the UFC is running now.
You know what? It's gonna be a while. I'm not saying it's impossible. She's gonna have to go on a real run because if you look at the people in her mold, the Cowboy Cerrones, the Neo Magnis, I think Stipe was like that for a bit before he became champ. They went on these gigantic winning streaks, and sometimes they got to a title, sometimes they didn't. Cowboy, I think he had to fight. I think he got like 8 or 9 wins in a row till he finally fought Dos Anjos in the rematch. And Neil Magny still hasn't gotten a title shot. And I think he had like 6 or 7 wins in a row at some point. Stipe, I think he had like 5 wins in a row till he finally fought Verdum, and like half of those were short notice fights. So it's kind of hit and miss. Could I see it? Yeah, but there's still some real dangerous girls in the division. Her place in the rankings and stuff. It's a little weird. I don't know who she's gonna fight next. That's usually what I'd ask here is like who should she fight next, but it seems like she doesn't even know and she doesn't care. So
Right?
if this is how she's gonna go this year, let's see. I mean, because it could very well be, especially with like how Randall Marcos takes a bunch of fights, it could be Randall Marcos again. Shit, I wouldn't even be surprised if she goes up in weight if she's really itching for it and she hasn't got an offer. Angela seems a little fucking crazy.
Yeah.
I'm interested to see what she'll do. As far as Loma goes, though, how do you think she's gonna bounce back? Because she did not look bad at all. I think she actually looked really good in spite of the loss. But it's clear MMA is still new to her. She hasn't gotten everything down. Her
Yeah.
striking is still wicked, but do you think this is going to make her better, or you think it's a little too much and can maybe go the way that Angela did when she first came in the UFC?
I think it'll make her better. I mean, she packed on like 9 pounds. So there's that, she's carrying on that extra weight, trying to get used to that. And then now this is going to give her more time to just focus on her wrestling and, her grappling. Because that's all she's really missing. I mean, she was able to take down Angela too, I think 1 or 2 times.
At least
Yeah,
once.
at least once. Yeah, she can do it. She just needs to work on it some more. That whole size difference still, I wonder if it's really her weight class. You know what I mean? Because she had to pack on pounds.
Didn't Hill almost armbar her at some point too? Like it was really tight and she managed to get out of it.
Yeah, I think that was the first round, wasn't
Yeah.
it?
Yeah, I
Yeah.
think so too. Because I'm like, oh, this is gonna be over soon, especially with the jiu-jitsu difference. But nah, I mean, she's learning. She's clearly learning. It wasn't a
Hmm.
lopsided victory. It was clear that Angie was just the better veteran. I mean, she is the veteran. Loma may be the veteran in Muay Thai, but this was MMA, and Angie's got some tricks up her sleeve.
Yeah, like the wrestling, the single legs. She was trying to, take her down with those single legs. So, yeah, maybe work on some more wrestling because she doesn't need to stand up. I mean, her stand up's beautiful.
Yeah. And she is in Tiger Muay Thai. I mean, that's not a Muay Thai gym. There's plenty of MMA fighters and plenty of MMA fighters with wrestling experience. So it's not like she's lacking for resources there.
Yeah, that man, I hope everybody enjoyed that fight. I swear that was a badass fight.
It was fun as hell.
Yeah. The
Definitely
teeps and
was.
shit. Like, damn. So underutilized, the teep.
Yeah, she'll show you what's up. That's why I like watching Loma fight. It's like, man, you forget how useful and how efficient and effective Muay Thai is sometimes. And we see it from a master like her. Like, you don't really see that on the guy's side.
Mm-mm.
I mean, there's some good Muay Thai fighters out there, but there's no like real ties from the motherland who's done it since they're babies that can do you like that.
That was badass when she, like you said, like when she did that teep and Angela like flew basically across the damn cage.
And even with her Muay Thai experience, you just looked in her face like, damn, like I never been hit like that before. That's a new one even for me.
Right? She was like, damn. It was
Yeah.
cool afterwards. She's like, yeah, I'm a fan. It was great fighting you. And I love
Mm-hmm.
Angela's attitude. And I tweeted at her, I'm like, damn, congrats. When are you going to fight again? She liked the tweet. Somebody else said, like, I wouldn't be surprised if she fights again on the same card, which is fucking true. Like, who knows what she'll do, right?
If she could, she would. The other fight we covered was Emil Mech and Jake Matthews. And Jake Matthews won a pretty clear decision there. It was a fun fight. Fun fight. Mech did Mech things. He came forward. He bombarded him, and I was really impressed by Matthews. Maybe because I hadn't seen him in a while, or maybe because it'd been a while since he fought. He's improving. I was impressed by his growth because he got a really good jab, some good kicks and movement, and I was not expecting that. I said Meek was gonna win because of his pressure, and Matthews didn't buy into it. I was very surprised. It was a very savvy performance by him.
Pressure from his back, too. That was crazy. Do you remember that? I think it was like the second round. He was throwing like crazy elbows from the back. And Matthews was in his guard, and he didn't give a shit.
I may have missed that one.
Yeah, he's just trying to fight on his back the entire time. It didn't matter. But what made me laugh was Hardy. He's saying something like, yeah, I don't know what the numbers are, but I think even before he stepped in the cage, he had like 15 significant strikes on himself because he was sitting there like pounding on himself the entire time.
Oh, wow.
So I was cracking up. I was like, yep, he's crazy, man. I love that fight, though. And I guess Maynard was trying to calm him down or something. Gray Maynard was coaching him.
Oh, I didn't see him.
Yeah, he was coaching him, so he was trying to get him to calm down, not go so hard, just pace yourself. But obviously that didn't really happen. It was a wild fight. Fun fight, but it was wild.
Do you think that Mech is gonna get cut here? I mean, he hadn't fought in a long time. Comes back, fun fight, but lost. I think he's only won one fight in his UFC. I think he's like 1-3.
Yeah, something crazy, and he had a long layoff. Who knows with what the UFC is doing? I mean, there's one person out there that should be cut, but she's still somehow on the roster. This guy is fighting. He's exciting. He's a character. Who knows? He might get cut because of his record.
I think everybody listening to this knows exactly who we're talking about when we say those comments. And you know what? I was thinking about this over the weekend. She was there. Rachel Osovich was was there at those fights. She was supposed to fight Shanna Dobson. Got knocked the fuck out by Priscilla Cachoeira in the first fight of the night. I don't understand why she's there, and nobody's ever talked about why she's pulled out.
Pull-out game's strong, man.
I don't get it, and the tide is churning with her, and I don't know. I almost don't even want to talk about her anymore because it just feels like a waste of time. And I know we're going on here, but I'm seriously like kind of done with her. I've not that I've been a fan, not that I've been rooting for her, not that I don't want anything bad to happen to her. And we've said for a while she's not a fighter. I don't know what she's trying to do, but at this point it's like, why? It's IG and only IG, and that's the only reason that she's relevant in any kind of way. And the thing is too, I understand that she's from Hawaii. She's not in mainland America, so that travel may not be as bad as it might be for you or I here in California. But still, she still had to travel down there, man. I kind of kept quiet with any references of her as of late, but just seeing that pic and seeing those videos of her there, I'm like, how and why and how does nobody see anything wrong with this aside from some hardcores that aren't just fawning over her? Because even some dudes are turning on her, which is so surprising. But anyway, that's a story for another day.
Yeah, she's just a prop. That's all.
Moving on to women that can actually fight, Karolina Kowalkiewicz and Yan Zhonan. I'm always going to forget her name. And shame on me because what a performance by her. It's fucked up that I don't think Yan's going to get her props. And even here, not that I'm not giving her props, it's just I think this takeaway from the story is just how fucked up Karolina got. And given Karolina's track record in the UFC, and I don't mean just as of late, just her being a former title challenger and being undefeated when she came into the promotion, man, what a sad turn of events.
I know. I think Jessica Andrade really changed her life.
I don't think it was Andrade. I know obviously she lost to
Michelle
Joanna.
Waterson.
No, well, she lost to Joanna, then she lost
to
Delia. She had a win or two there. And then, yeah, Andrade, Waterson.
Grasso, and Yan.
Grasso, yeah. They're all good girls. They're all very tough fighters.
Yeah.
But she just doesn't look like her. It looks like she's doing the same things. They just don't have the impact that they did when she first came in on the scene.
Prior to the Waterson fight, I guess she made a deal with her partner saying, during this time, I'm going to stop fighting and we'll start, working on having kids. So, and then ever since, prior to that article coming out, she went on to fight Waterson. She lost to Grasso. She lost. And then this Yan fight. She partially had one foot out the door.
So you think mentally she hasn't really been there?
That, and then now, with the thyroid issue like that,
mm-hmm.
That's going to be tough to deal with.
And that's hyperthyroid, so that usually means for people that they gain weight. So who knows if this is a thing throughout camp. She's probably just feeling sluggish. Who knows how much it affects her. And then you got to think about the weight cut. Maybe she's just killing herself to get down there. Because I never looked at her as a big straw weight or nothing, but who knows if she's putting on a lot of weight in between fights, regardless of her diet or her training habits or anything. She's probably just putting on weight because that's usually what happens when you have hyperthyroidism.
If she wants to come back, definitely think about it first, but I don't think she's going to come back because of what she said last year. That was almost a year ago, and she's 34. She's going to be turning 35 soon, I think. I don't think we'll see her back. And I wouldn't be mad at it because did you see that video? I was almost in tears, man, when I saw her talking about it.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, I'm not well. I can't say that I'm well after this fight.
It's just crazy because Joanna's not exactly a power puncher, but, she definitely was landing on her in that fight, and that was a 5-round war. Well, not war, but, she took it for 5 rounds. Andrade knocked her to fucking Jupiter, and it seemed like she was fine from that, aside from the concussion. Alexa Grasso also boxed her face off, and she looked fine after that. Maybe it's cumulative damage. And then, of course, I think we know, too, that Yan really fucking hits hard. Like what I said when we started with this is we're not really talking too much about Yan, and we probably should, but the question is now, too, it's like, okay, when Michelle Waterson beat Karolina, when Claudia Gadelha beat Karolina, those were big wins because everyone knew she was was a contender. But now, what can you make of this for Jan?
I don't know.
It's tough.
Yeah, because I didn't even think about that. It's because it's just being overshadowed with what happened with Carolina and how her corner failed her. Because I guess she had like a bone broken in her eye socket or something.
Yeah, she was twitching a lot in the first round. I mean, it was very obvious. At first I thought it was an eye poke, and then she never complained about it, so I thought maybe she got like a knuckle in the eye, or she just got punched very well and it just was hurting her. I figured there was something wrong there, but yeah, it was a small orbital break, and then you see her other eye wasn't much better, and I think they did surgery. I think she's good to go now, but she's been in Auckland this whole time. She couldn't fly because of the pressure in the cabin of the airplane. So I don't know when she's planning to go home, but she's still been in Auckland this whole time.
I think they cleared her today for her to fly back home.
Yeah, so she's been like 4 or 5 days, and well, I mean, we're just saying about the fight. Who knows how long she was there for fight week? She's probably been there like over a week or two.
I really wanted her to win, but I did pick Jan, so.
And I picked KK. Holy shit, I think I got every single pick on this card wrong. Yeah, I did, because I picked Paul Felder and he lost to. Okay, so now we're going to go into the main event. Yeah, every single pick of mine for this card was wrong. Jesus. Yeah, Paul Felder lost a close split decision to Dan Hooker. I loved this fight so much. It was so brutal. It was a brutal fight. It wasn't blood and guts or anything. I mean, Paul was bloody. There's been more brutal fights, but the jabs, the kicks, like it was just one of those fights where it just hurts seeing. And those are the fights that I would love the most, though, where it doesn't necessarily matter the damage that you have. It's that like neither of these guys are gonna walk or be doing much of anything the next day, because it was that bad of a war. Did Hooker get a broken jaw?
I don't think so.
Because he was talking all fucked up after the fight. Who knows if it was his mouthpiece was, got lodged in there somehow, or if it was just some kind of hematoma on his jaw or his ear or something. But yeah, he was talking all weird, or out of his lips or something. I don't know. And then Felder just looked like all hell too.
I don't know. He looked like Donald Cerrone. When I closed it.
Well, his complexion doesn't help.
Right?
He is a pale man. Nate Diaz talks about, you sneeze on me and I bleed. It's like, well, look at Felder, man. At least you ain't as bad as him.
Yeah. During that fight, I was waiting for Hooker to just like go down. There's many times where he looked like he was going to go out.
Yeah, he was getting fucked up, but so was Felder. I mean, Felder's got such an amazing chin, but still, he was getting touched up too.
Felder was just in his face the whole time. Didn't care. That's why he got beat up, but I had it 3-2, Felder, honestly, but maybe because that's my man, so.
I don't remember how I scored it. I want to say I had it 3-2 as well, but I think it was a lot of the rounds were close, but I think it was the second round specifically that was pretty close, and I didn't know how to score that one. I was like, shit, because if you score that one for Hooker on my scorecard, I'm like, that's Hooker's fight. And if you scored it for Felder, it's his fight. But then the third round was kind of close too. I don't know. The second and third are really, really tight. I'm not mad at the decision. I'm not surprised he won the decision in his hometown also.
Yeah.
But it was a very close fight. I'm not buying these people saying that it was a robbery. Come on, man. We just saw KGB and Murphy like 2 weeks ago. That was a true robbery. Save your tears right now.
Yeah.
We've seen terrible calls. Even Jones and Reyes was way worse than this.
Oh yeah, it was tough, man. But Felder on the mic later, I was like, oh my god. I was getting all like emotional.
How did I know you would be like that?
Because I can be a softie at times. You gotta edit this shit out.
When it's the guys you like, you get all emotional.
Hell yeah, especially when they talk about their kids.
Well, yeah.
4-year-old. Aw, man. It's gotta be tough, dude. Thinking about retiring. I guess he's not, from what I understand. Luke Thomas received a text from Duke Rufus saying that, yeah, Felder's not retiring.
I did see that, and when there's fights like that, you got to imagine that it's kind of just most likely what's going to come out of their mouth, because it was a tough-ass fight. You feel like shit. Must have a throbbing headache, possibly a broken jaw, orbital, fucked up legs. Like, do you really want to continue fighting? Fuck no.
Yeah.
And you probably feel like you probably got robbed. Like, yeah, fuck this shit. Taking my ball and going home, you know?
Yeah, and then prior to that, he had that controversial win over Edson Barboza.
That's the other thing I was gonna say. I'm like, you know what? Even if I think Felder did win, I'm not mad because I feel like I think that was a robbery. I do not understand how he beat Barboza. I really don't. That baffles me to this day. So you take one, you give one. That's just how it kind of went.
Yeah. So still love Felder though.
Of course. I mean, we all do. We all do. That was a great fight. It was a great fight. He wants Justin Gaethje next, but there's a Hooker wants Gaethje next, but it looks like Gaethje might fight Conor, but those are just rumors at this point. Who knows?
So weird. It's weird. Like Ali's saying that it's not going to happen.
It's Ali.
I don't know. He's usually right on certain things. Like, I don't know what he has against some of these people.
Everything is personal to him.
Yeah, everything, he has skeletons in his... I don't know. I don't know how he is able to, like, swing any of this stuff sometimes, but he's a powerful manager.
Yeah.
That's all I'm going to say, because I don't want no smoke.
I don't give a shit about him. As I said, and I'll go on record and I will always say the only good thing he ever did was punch Makikawa back in the day. That's the only good thing he's ever done. Other than that, fuck him. But that's another subject for another day. That does it for the Auckland section of the Rewind. We talked a little bit about Bellator and Wilder Fury, so I did want to touch on those. As far as Bellator goes, Beck Rawlings, who we were all kind of rooting for, she won. Good win, unanimous decision win, grappling heavy. Because she's still working on her grappling. Good win for her. Gaston Bolanos lost a split decision, although it was not a very eventful fight. Still got to work on his grappling. Big surprise. But what was a gigantic surprise was Denise Kelholtz. She beat the fucking shit out of Christina Williams and submitted her to boot. This girl's on the rise, man. I think she's probably, if she's not already there, she's probably one fight away from fighting for the title.
When you sent me that clip, was that the entire fight?
No, it was like a 3-minute fight.
Oh shit, that's still, goddamn, it was only 3 minutes.
Christina would keep coming at her, and Denise would left, right, just bombing on her every time she would come in. Christina would go for her high kick, which she's devastating with, and she just would evade it like it was nothing and just make her pay every time. I thought for sure, like a minute in, I'm like, this is gonna end by knockout, and no, she still went for the submission. Like, this girl is so good, man, and she's in the Limole McFarland's division. I mean, she might be one of the best grapplers in women's MMA, so that's not gonna be a easy fight. But Limole's really got to mind her P's and Q's. Vita Ortega was fucking her up on the feet, and Vita Ortega is not at the level of Denise Kelholtz, so that can be, oh my god, I'm canceling all my plans whenever that fight happens. Like, I might have to take the day off work. Whenever it happens, man, I want to see it. And if it's anywhere near, shit, especially if it is in San Jose, I might actually make the jump. I really might.
Cool, man. It's like in my backyard.
Yeah, and then hopefully 3 years in the making that we finally hook back up,
Yeah.
That'd be cool too.
NorCal.
Yeah, and yep, exactly. Got to go in your backyard now. But yeah, shout outs to Kelholtz, very good job, great fight, amazing finish. Now on to, I think, the biggest story of the weekend. UFC Auckland wasn't shit compared to how big Wilder and Fury were trending. And as I mentioned last week on the show, I went to go see this in a movie theater. It was pretty packed. It's been more packed than other shows that I've been to, but this one was pretty packed. And people were into it, and man, I mean, I got my wish, but it's funny how everyone's jumping ship all of a sudden.
So wait, let's back up for a little bit. So you were in the theater?
Yes.
And it was completely packed?
I mean, not like I was sitting next to strangers and like you had no space to move. It was maybe like 70-80% filled.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's wild, man. How much did you pay to watch that?
$22.
And they had this popcorn and everything readily available, just like a regular show?
Yeah, it'd be just like if you're watching a regular movie, yeah.
Damn, I've never done that before.
Well, it's through a company, Fathom Events, usually, and it's only in select theaters. It's not like you could go to your local theater and for sure they're gonna have it there. Like I had to go to a one that's maybe like 10, 15 miles from my house, which is one that I mean it's not that far, but it's not one that I'd usually go to, and it's not the closest one I know. But it's an AMC, it's a big theater. It's
Damn,
probably
that
one of the
sounds
biggest
like fun.
theaters here. Yeah. Yeah, it was funny. It was funny because I forget sometimes with boxing because like I love boxing, but I don't necessarily watch. I don't necessarily watch it all the time, and I don't ever really watch it with crowds. And if I do, it's usually Mexicans because the Mexicans fighting. But this had a Brit and an African American, and it's funny because there was a black dude behind us, maybe a row or two back. And before the fight was started, he was all in. He's, bomb squad and come on, Deontay. And he was all amped up. Come on, fuck this dude up and everything. The first round or two, he was like, come on. And he was getting mad because Fury was clinching a lot and stuff. And I understand. But as soon as he dropped him, deafening silence.
Oh, no.
He was mad. Even when we came out, I was like, oh, man. I was like, I don't even want to be near this guy because he's fucking mad, dude. And then I started seeing the tweets. Oh my god, black people did not let me down that night, man. Their tweets of how much they miss Mayweather, that Mayweather always delivered on Black History Month, and
Oh, shit. Oh, no.
you didn't see these?
No, I wasn't really paying attention. I need to go back and look at them.
I'll send you some of the ones. I retweeted most of them, and someone was like, "These are all black people, by the way." Floyd Mayweather, the only black athlete you can rely on.
Shit. See, everybody's racist, man.
Man, Floyd Mayweather never let us down. Black History Month. I don't care if he can't read.
God damn.
It was beautiful.
Some kind of racism, some form of racism going on here. Shit.
Even Ant was quote tweeting these and just putting like, man, I hate this app, but like laughing emojis. I'm like, what are you talking about? This is fucking amazing.
Oh Lord, this is funny. Okay, I'm gonna have to check it out. You gotta send me some.
Yeah.
I know they were shitting on him because of his, what is it, like Transformers outfit and shit. He looked like Decepticon or whatever.
Tyson Fury came out on the throne, and I was marking out to the fullest because I mean I like Tyson Fury and I was going for him. And he always makes a good entrance, but he came out to Patsy Cline's Crazy. And this may surprise y'all, but I'm a big Patsy Cline fan. I know that's a weird thing that most of you may not even know who she is. But I love Patsy Cline and I love that song. And just the fact that he came out to a song called Crazy, I was like, fuck yeah, this guy's the shit. This guy's the shit. How can you not go for him?
He had women carrying him too.
Yeah. You know what I kept thinking? Okay, so obviously we got to talk about the controversy. Deontay Wilder blamed the suit being too heavy, part of the reason for his loss. But once I saw that, I just started laughing even more, not because of his misfortune of him probably not planning things out right with that suit. You got to give it up to Tyson even more now because he expended even less energy. He didn't even walk to the fucking ring. He should have invested in people carrying him around.
That shit's funny because you see Wilder just warming up and taking everything so seriously, and then here is Tyson just like having a good time or whatever. Remember, you're like, he's just making all these like gestures and he's humping the air or some shit.
Yeah. I was like, dude, he's gonna get fucked up. No way.
I was like, maybe he just needs to jack off because he's been jacking off 7 times a day as his regimen to prepare for Wilders.
And that's something I was unaware of. You brought that to my attention and you sent me links. I was like, ah, shit.
It was an article in the Men's Health magazine.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah. So, I mean, the very next day I tweeted, I'm going to start jacking off 7 days a week too. I need to work on my cardio.
Shit, man. I try to... I like to think that I have decent cardio for a fat guy, but nah, I ain't got... The juice has no juice for that one. I'll just say that. That's too fucking much for me, man.
Oh god, yeah, that shit's funny though. He blamed it on the suit.
Blamed his trainer for throwing in the towel. Blamed the ref. I mean, he gave Fury credit, I guess, but he didn't seem happy about anything that was going on during the fight. I'm actually upset that I'm not surprised. I'm upset that everything that I thought was going to happen happened. I'm not upset that he got exposed. Should have happened a long fucking time ago. But just the way he's reacting is like he's turning a lot of people off, and it's like, man, now that I'm looking back, I kind of like that he had so many fans because it's like it shows how many fucking idiots there were out there.
Yeah, all the excuses, right? I think that's what really turned off a lot of his fans. If he would have just kept his mouth shut and maybe just came out with, yeah, I'm gonna activate the rematch clause, I think it would have been fine. But I mean, to come out with that suit and then blame it on that, like, come on. There's got to be like all kinds of factors. You put on a lot of weight. I mean, I'm not like a big boxing fan. I don't watch it all the time. But when I was watching this fight, I'm like, holy shit, he looks fucking big. He looks huge. So that might be the case. Like, he doesn't know how to carry that weight yet, especially in a fight with somebody that's a good boxer, or he's an actual boxer, okay? He's a boxer fighting a bully. Let's just put it that way. Because like you said, like, Wilder's not really a boxer. And then he comes out with the suit right after he did all that warm-up too, right? So he probably got exhausted. He wasn't ready for this at all.
I also want to say, Teddy Atlas, if you're listening, please, can you just I know you're like 60-something, 70-something years old. Can you just adopt me, please? Because I am convinced that I am your long-lost son. Everything that you were saying this week after the fight is exactly what I've been saying for the past 3-4 fucking years about Deontay Wilder. The fact that he can't fight, the fact that he doesn't know shit, all this shit that you were saying, even the fact that you thought that Fury was going to lose that fight because of the weight gain. Everything he said, I said, I'm like, oh my God, we have to be related. This guy has to be my illegitimate father or something. I'm gonna go into ancestry.com and see if I really am part white or something. Maybe I'm related to Teddy Atlas.
That would be so funny. I'm white, yo.
Teddy Atlas is the shit, man, and I love that I'm not alone in this. I love that it wasn't just all these analysts that were giving Wilder like. I understand you got to give him respect for the power. I understand that you can't just take this as a cakewalk. But the fact that anyone looked at him at any kind of analytical level, it's like, come on, man. Come on. This is ridiculous. He didn't earn all this respect. It's only because he had power. He's entertaining, sure, I'll give you that, but he's not a fucking boxer. He's just not. I'm glad that the world sees now what I've been saying for years. So that was that. Well, one last thing on that front, on the boxing front. Seems like everyone's maybe it could be a third fight with them, the rematch clause and all that. And a lot of people are clamoring already for Fury and Joshua. I mean, it looks likely that the third fight will happen, but do you think we'll ever see Fury against Joshua? Because at this point, I don't think Wilder's in the picture, even if he does win again. I don't think it matters as much as Fury.
Will we see it this year? Joshua versus Fury?
Ever.
I think it'll happen, but I'm not sure if it'll happen this year, though. That's got to be the biggest heavyweight fight, right? To make right now, right? Wouldn't they make all kinds of money if they did this?
This will be up there from like Ali and Foreman, honestly. Like Ali, Foreman, Ali, Frazier, like that level of how big this fight will be.
So, yeah, then they're probably working on it right now.
Apparently, Fury and Joshua are kind of friends, kind of close. So, I don't know. I guess there's that. But Joshua has also said that he wants everything, that he wants all the belts, so he wants to come for it. So who knows? Who knows? I want it to happen, but I also know how boxing works.
Yeah. But this is the fight to make, so I don't think they'll leave all that money on the table.
One would hope so.
But it's boxing, so who knows? Fucking Wilder in this goddamn suit with the red eyes, though. Crazy.
I will say it did look cool, but obviously not practical.
Cool for a Halloween outfit.
Wouldn't it be funny if he threw that shit away after everybody just went into his locker room after the fight and like, fuck this shit, and he just started
He smashed it.
chucking it at the walls and shit. Yeah.
Oh, Lord. Who made that god awful thing?
I
Good
want to know how
Lord.
much he paid for it. That's the other thing.
I know, right? I
Had to be
mean,
thousands of dollars. Had to be like at least like $15,000-$20,000.
rhinestones, crystals, something all over that.
Anyway, that does it for the rewind. So let's get into our preview of UFC Norfolk. As goes to show by my whispering of this, not a lot going on here. Not a lot. I was digging deep here. You guys know we don't cover just main card. We don't do full card. We cover fights that interest us. And Figueiredo versus Benavidez is a cracker of a fight. This shit should be amazing. That's all there is here. Even on the women's MMA front, I'll cover it. And my girl Felicia Spencer's on it. I'm covering that. And Reen's second favorite fighter, Megan Anderson's on here. So we got to cover that.
I love Megan.
But it's featherweight fights. I mean, I know we want featherweight to mean something, but these fights mean damn near nothing. So let's just get started. So first up, Megan Anderson's gonna fight Norma Dumont, a UFC newcomer. I don't know much about her. Megan fought a newcomer in her last fight and obliterated her, so I'm just gonna say that she's gonna do the same thing to this girl. It's just gonna be weird. I'm gonna be confused because they look so alike. So
They do, right?
tattoos and everything. It's not just the face or the build.
She's like the mini version of Megan Anderson.
One day she will evolve to Megan. Maybe, I don't know, or devolve. Who the fuck knows at this point? But I'm just taking Megan because it's tough. Megan's still a decent fighter, and unless this girl is a world beater and we don't know it, I think her record's 4-4. I'm not gonna assume she is, so I'll take Megan.
Well, she's 4-0. Yeah, she's 4-0, so she's fresh.
I think I'd be more confident with her if she was 4-4 and more experience.
Yeah, right? So she's 4-0. I think her foundation is jiu-jitsu, so she might have that to her advantage because, Megan's not that great on the ground. She proved that with Felicia, and she also proved it with Holly. Even though Holly's not a ground fighter, but yeah, she had trouble with Holly.
Didn't she submit the last girl, though?
Yeah, with
That
her
was the last
triangle, with
fight.
her long legs. Yeah, she did do
Not
that.
saying she's gonna submit this girl, but there's obvious improvement. And when you got James Krause, Rain,
That's true. And Anthony Smith.
I think you should fight Megan for the right to train with James Krause.
Right?
We got to bring James Krause into this because if not, Reen's gonna blow a gasket.
I'll just toe poke her.
Toe poker?
Yeah, like she did the cat.
Oh fuck, that's not cool. Oh, don't remind me of that.
Yeah,
Well, I guess in that case, you'd be good. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's legal.
If I can get my fucking legs up there, I'm shorter than her.
You better jump.
I know, right?
So you get steps in.
For real, I need a ladder. I need to climb on her and shit, like a spider monkey. But yeah, all jokes aside, I'm gonna pick Megan because what am I supposed to do? Like, what am I supposed to do, right? Like, Megan's fighting again. Cool, whoopee. Doesn't really matter.
What am I supposed to do? I'm only human.
Yeah, like what? It's so
Expecting
ridiculous.
to have all these insights and shit.
Right? I mean, it's so ridiculous. Like, there's nobody on the featherweight roster. They just keep pulling girls. And that's it.
And girls do not go up. Women, go up. Please. For everyone's sake, go up. Quit killing yourself to make 135. Amanda's going to be there regardless. Just go up, please.
I know, right? Like, she has both belts. I mean, would you rather go to 145, make it easier for yourself so you don't have to cut as much, or still struggle and still try to beat a monster?
And most likely get your ass whooped by some decent bantamweights down there. Get your ass kicked by Holly Holm if you can live with that.
You don't want to get beat by Holly, man.
It could still happen. I know people, especially you, Reed. I know you like to shit on Holly, but she could still beat a lot of girls in that division. And why just skip the line? Why do you even fight Holly? Just go for it.
Just the blueprint's there. Just wrestle her. I don't know why people don't just wrestle her. Yeah, just take her down and keep her down and beat the shit out of her. Ooh, that Aspen Ladd and Holly Holm fight. We were supposed to get that fight. maybe that'll happen soon.
I think what you said was better out. See, we're not even supposed to be talking about Holly Holm, but this is how lame this card is. But
right? We're talking about Aspen too.
To add to that, though, no, I still think what you said a few episodes back about Holm and Alana is the way to go. That's what I want to see, and give you all the credit in the world for that. Lad, yeah, who knows what's gonna go with her, but obviously she has options.
Yeah,
but
definitely Aldana and Holly, because Aldana needs that name. It'd be good.
Yeah, yep. So that's that fight. Going on to another featherweight fight. My girl, my future wife, Felicia Spencer, is gonna fight Zara Fern. I don't even know if I'm saying that right, but she is the girl that got submitted by Megan Anderson in her last fight. And she's taking on Felicia Spencer, a very well-regarded, yes, a very good grappler.
Sorry.
I actually didn't catch that one. I don't know if I should ask you to repeat it.
Got Megan sloppy seconds. They're like just passing each other around.
I'm pretty sure she's going to make mincemeat of her. I did not see anything in the Megan Anderson fight to be impressed with this girl. And against Felicia, who's possibly the baddest woman, one of the toughest women in the UFC for sure, I just don't see it ending well. I mean, she submitted Megan. She went through her like a fucking hot samurai sword through butter. And Megan submitted you. I know MMA math doesn't really work, but in this case, it would take a minor miracle for this girl to beat Felicia Spencer.
Yeah, she submitted Megan in like 3 minutes.
No resistance.
Yeah, got on that big ass ostrich and just took her down. And submitted her. And I actually picked Megan in that fight.
And that was before I realized of the magic of Felicia Spencer. So I was like, I don't really care. But now, all aboard. She's mine. Mine only.
So if she beats this Zara chick, does Spencer fight Megan again? Or is she eyeing for that Nunes fight?
I would think if they're gonna give Nunes a way to defend featherweight, it would be this way.
Ooh, that's gonna be tough.
That'd be fun.
Ooh, that's gonna be tough. I'm looking forward to it. I mean, that's the only fight to make in the 145 pound, division.
And
Spencer wins.
As good as a fighter as Felicia Spencer is, I still think skill for skill, the top bantamweights could beat her. But no one's going up, so we'll never fucking know. But yeah, anyway, still love you, Felicia, and I'm picking you for the win. So yeah, we got Felicia there. That's that for whatever of the card is remotely interesting. Now on to the good part, Figueiredo and Benavidez.
Oh God.
I haven't given this fight a lot of thought, and maybe it's because I expect it to be so good. I haven't thought about any analysis for it.
They were supposed to fight a year ago.
Yeah, they were.
Yeah, and they got canceled, and here we are. I don't know. I was thinking Benavidez, but I don't know.
I love Figueiredo, and I'm like all aboard. I'm all in with that. I don't know if you could call it a hype train at this point, but still, I think he's very talented and very dangerous. But I believe it was Jussier who dominated him, and I think Benavidez is a better grappler than Jussier, and of course he's still got striking that can make him dangerous. If Jussier beat Figueiredo pretty easily, it's just hard for me to think that Benavidez can't do the same. At the same time, Benavidez is a bit of a risk taker at times, so he can start getting the kickboxing battle. Figueiredo can knock his fucking head off. I don't know, but I just think the odds are in Benavidez's favor here.
Yeah, this should be a good flyweight fight. Like, finally, we got something going here. I gotta pick Benavidez. He used to be a NorCal guy, so.
Okay, where is he now? Is he in Vegas? Is he in Colorado? Is he?
I thought he was in San Diego. I thought he was down south, if I'm not mistaken.
With who?
I thought he was training down there with TJ's gym.
I think TJ's in Orange County.
Yeah, I thought they were at that gym along with Cub Swanson. There's a couple guys out there. Whatever.
Archuleta.
Yeah, whatever gym they have. I forgot what it was called, but I thought he was down there because he's not an alpha male anymore.
I knew he wasn't an alpha male, but I thought he went to Colorado or something, or Vegas for some reason. I think especially because of Megan O'Leary. I thought she lived in Vegas, so I thought maybe they moved out there and he started training there.
Yeah, I'm not really sure. I gotta look at his IG and stalk it. Stalk for some information.
Are you stalking it for Megan?
No, I don't care.
No? Oh, okay. All right.
I see enough of her pictures on Twitter. It's so disgusting. I'm kidding.
Oh. I don't think there's anybody who has a problem with Megan O'Leary.
Oh, man. No. Megan, no. O'Leary, she's so cute. I was talking about Megan, though.
Oh, the other Megan, yeah. There's Megan and there's Megan, yeah. No, yeah.
Megan's all over the place.
That's all good.
Yeah. What's that, like, the girls that take pictures but they have tattoos all over them? What's that called?
Like
the suicide girls?
Yeah.
I wonder if she'll end up like a suicide girl or something.
No, that's Beck Rawlings.
Oh, there you go. She's more of that fit, huh?
Yeah, and she has an OnlyFans account, so she quite literally is one of the suicide girls. Love you, Beck.
So funny. Yeah. Yeah, Beck, you've been looking hot lately.
Good win, as we already mentioned. That's just for the preview, so let's get into some headlines. And first up, everybody's favorite drug cheat, Josh Barnett is at it again. He got popped in fucking Bellator by a Native American commission. We don't know for what, but banned substance.
DMT.
Jesus fucking Christ.
It's DMT.
Yeah, right.
Ayahuasca.
God.
I mean, are you surprised? The people that are surprised, like, are you surprised? I'm not.
I actually was surprised for a second because not that I thought like, oh, he turned a new leaf with the whole USADA thing. I mean, yeah, you were in a rough spot with being tested by supposedly one of the most stringent drug testing companies out there in the premier organization of mixed martial arts. It would make sense that he was clean in his UFC run, quote unquote, clean in his UFC run, and then he goes to Bellator, which he doesn't think is going to have any testing. He starts doing steroids or whatever it may be, and he gets caught because he wasn't dotting his I's and crossing his T's type thing. But to me, it really just started bringing up questions of like, you know, there was a whole thing with USADA with that they issued an apology and said that he was totally in the right and he was cleared of any wrongdoing with them. But you see this and it's like, you kind of got to think like, do you really think he gave it up? And you don't think he gave it up? Like, I'm starting not to. How the fuck did he dupe USADA?
Hey, things that make you go, I mean, we were talking about this off air, like how long he's been in the game. I'm sure he's seen a lot. He knows a lot. He knows a lot of people. So somehow maybe he masked it.
I mean, you got to think he knows all the tricks in the book, right?
Yeah, he has to, man. I mean,
but he keeps getting caught.
Yeah, he got caught, with every promotion, right?
Yeah, and
he's been around for a long time, people.
He would have found a way had he just, I don't know, taken one extra pill or something. He would have found a way to test positive in Pride. He could have done it.
Mm-hmm.
He could have fucking done it. Oh, my God.
It's crazy. It's so ridiculous. Like, was it March of 2018? Yeah, they're like, we'll apologize. Yeah, it was a contaminated, like, supplement or something. And then he gets released in June. And they don't really do that, but they released him because of the issue that they had. And then he was with Bellator. He was supposed to fight in Hawaii, but he got really sick, couldn't. Looked like he was, you know, doing well with this promotion. He was out there, you know, entertaining the troops on Hawaii. There's like Air Force bases, Army bases, things like that there. So he was there doing all that and looked like he was doing well. And then here's another drug testing. He's a cheat. That's what sucks. It's like, oh, Josh, you look like you're doing good now. Cool. Now you're still a cheat.
In other drug testing news, Tito Ortiz has gotten his win over Alberto Del Rio turned to a no contest by the Texas Commission. I'm sorry, not the Texas Commission, the Texas Department of Licensing and Regulation. No reason was given. So obviously the speculation is, of course, steroids. And it's just weird that the action was taken and they said they're still pending an investigation. The action was taken even though there's an investigation pending. That makes no sense. But obviously, being Combate Americas, obviously being in Texas, obviously being, again, much like Josh Barnett, a veteran of the game, who I'll give this credit to Tito. He's never tested positive for anything. There's a slight chance that nothing's awry here as far as like it's not PEDs, maybe something else, but all signs point that he was cheating in one way or another. And the fact that you think you had to cheat against Alberto Del Rio, God, how sad is that?
I think it's a conspiracy.
Okay.
I'm gonna put on my edgy bra hat right now.
Okay.
I think they're just trying to save face and cover up the fact that they fucked up with James Krause's scorecards. They don't want to deal with that shit. Because why would you spend money to go through all this bullshit?
Okay, here's the thing. It's weird with Texas too because from what everyone always says and jokes about, they don't really give a shit about steroids, but they will get your ass for weed. Jessica I tested positive for like a fucking nothing of weed that even experts said she may have gotten from secondhand smoke. Like she really could have. Like that's actually a possibility, which is the stupidest excuse in the book. That's like what a sixth grader says. But according to the test, that could have been feasible in this situation. It's possible he tested positive for weed and they overturned it. But to be frank, Tito Ortiz doesn't look like a weed smoker to me.
No, I just think that they're doing something. They're covering up something. Why? I mean, it's been months since that fight, right? A ridiculous fight. They allowed it to happen. It was the main event. They went through all of the protocols, and then now they're going to overturn it, but they don't really have an answer on why. But it's pending as well. Like, it doesn't fucking make sense, man.
And like you're talking about conspiracies. Like, had this happened in California, I would have been like, well, here's a vocal Trump supporter, and also part Latino. So I mean, that's a big no-no. I can see them trying to fuck him over here, but this is in Texas. They don't give a shit. They're supporting him.
Yeah, see, I think they're just trying to cover up on the whole James Krause thing. Let's just change the subject. Wouldn't you spend money on investigating what happened with the James Krause issue?
Would
rather
I
than
spend
this
money?
bullshit? Well, I mean, if you were that, like, well, let's go back and look at these fights again. Okay,
Oh,
well,
you mean you mean as a matter of importance?
Yeah, Texas Commission looking at it and being like, okay, what should we do here? They knew it was a bullshit fight. It's a wrestler, an old-ass wrestler, WWE wrestler versus a fighter, a recent fighter, as a matter of fact. He fought Chuck Liddell not too long ago. He's been active. Usually, they wouldn't allow that to happen, right? Because Del Rio hasn't fought since I don't know when. Like, it's been so long. But in normal cases, like, they wouldn't have let that happen. I don't think, especially with what happened with California after Chuck and Tito fought. So something's going on, man. Something's fishy. Just don't go back to Texas.
Yeah,
James Krause.
And there's no reason for me to go to Texas either, so I'll follow that advice as well. Next up, speaking of drugs, more another drug case. This is on the way more serious note. White collar criminal physician, quote unquote. I'll put the physician in quotes, not the white collar criminal. Francisco Patino. He got involved in a $120 million Medicare fraud case. And apparently some UFC fighters and boxers were involved in this. So this guy was doing all kinds of shady shit, money laundering, conspiracy of money laundering. He's getting charged on all kinds of shit. 65-year-old dude. And he shit, I don't even know if he's a real doctor. From what it was a long case that I was reading. I couldn't even tell if he actually was a real doctor, but he was getting all kinds of kickbacks. He was prescribing all kinds of opioids, including fentanyl. He was doing all kinds of like malpractice with his patients, taking blood and urine samples from them when he shouldn't have, trying to cover up and make it seem like everything's legit. He wrote a book about some diet that was all bullshit, and he was giving money to these fighters to kind of like help them out in that front. It's a very long, complicated case, and it actually has not much to do with fighting at all. It's just a really fucked up story that somehow involved some prize fighters. But if you have the time, please go through this. Actually, we have a news story of the week, our usual somewhat comical story, but I'm actually going to put a link to this as well because it's a very detailed thing that I implore you guys to read because it blew my mind just reading it. And it had my head in circles.
Yeah, I don't know how he got away with so much.
Here's the thing that I did read towards the end of this article, that Medicare fraud prevention, like this branch, that's not the exact name of it, but basically the people that are in charge of seeing that there's no fraud in the Medicare sector, was only created in 2007.
So how long has he been doing this? Did it say?
I don't,
didn't, right?
I don't think so. They could have. It was, like I said, it was a long thing. It could have very well said it, but I'm gonna say at least a decade.
Oh goodness.
I mean, if there wasn't and the fact that how old he is too, I'm pretty sure longer than that. If there was no division for this. Obviously, that doesn't mean that they didn't catch people doing Medicare fraud before, but the fact that they had to find something that, okay, there's a whole branch for this now.
Yeah.
Obviously, they're going to be getting more arrests now, and you got to imagine prior to 2007, people were probably just doing this every single day like it was nothing.
Yeah, it looks like he started 2008 to 2018. He offered unnecessary prescriptions.
This has been nationwide news for a while too. And here in LA, I know that there was some stories. I knew people, like not people personally, but like friend of a friend, cousin of a friend type thing, of people that were working that like would go into work and that their bosses were being cuffed. A lot of Russians apparently were getting involved in all kinds of like Medicare type fraud stuff. Russians, Armenians here in LA and like downtown LA and Maine, you know. And there was that lady that made the news a few weeks back because Trump pardoned this woman who was also involved in like a 180 $200 million Medicare fraud thing. It had nothing to do with this, amazingly. So this is hundreds of millions of dollars have been defrauded, stolen, extorted, whatever you want to say, by multiple people, and they've just been catching them in the past couple of years.
That's so wild. It's the government.
Well, this is why this is why these people are getting fucked, is because they're taking the government's money. They're taking I say the government's money. They're taking our money, taxpayer money. And this guy, in the article, is said about how he, had fucking boats and mansions and luxury clothes and cars. And I mean, this guy was living straight up Wolf of Wall Street style. And getting people addicted to fucking pain pills, and he's getting convicted of money laundering and all this other type of shit. But he's killed people. I mean, when you've prescribed these types of medications, people had to die from this. You think every single person he prescribed this to just got along fine and lived the rest of their lives totally normal?
Yeah, that's horrible, man. 120 million though. That's a lot, dude. I wonder what's gonna happen to him.
Nothing good, hopefully. Nothing good. I don't care about his fucking age. He deserves every bad thing that comes his way. I'll go full Silky Johnston on him. I hope all the bad things in life happen to you and nobody else but you. Fuck that guy.
Yeah. Fuck you, dude.
In some lighter news, just a by the way type thing. in UFC realm. UFC 251 has been announced. It's gonna happen on June 7th. Yes, June 7th in Perth in Australia. So they were just in New Zealand this weekend. They went to Perth, I want to say 2 years ago, the Yoel Romero Luke Rockhold card, and now they're coming back. It was announced that Valentina Shevchenko is. It looks like she may be the co-main event. Her title defense against Joanne Calder was going to be at this event. And there's strong rumors that looks like Alex Volkanovski and Max Holloway rematch might be the main event. I mean, great for the crowd, obviously, to have one of their own, especially in the main event, a champion. I don't know if I'm psyched for this fight or not. I love Holloway. I love Alex too. And the first fight was very interesting, even if it wasn't exactly entertaining. But I don't know. I don't want Max to lose, especially like in a kind of close decision. I don't want him to go that Frankie Edgar route, you know? He lost to Ben Henderson in a very close fight. He rematched him right away. A lot of people thought he won, but they gave it to Ben, and then he never really recovered from that. I don't want that to happen to Holloway.
Yeah, I saw some people upset about it.
About the immediate rematch?
That and the fact that Max has to go all the way to Perth instead of like maybe fighting in Hawaii. They're complaining about that too.
That would be cooler. I'm not gonna lie, that would be cooler because it's like give this guy a bone, you know? Like never been in Hawaii. That's all he's really been asking for. Mm-hmm. And Australia is great. Nothing against the Australians, but yeah, I mean, I think they would have done something for Max already. You're already going all the way over there. Just go to Hawaii.
Yeah, and he's always traveled. He's always been the one to travel.
Went to Brazil, right? And all the times he went to Canada.
Yep.
Yeah, I know.
So, yeah. I don't know. It's going to be a tough fight, though.
Yeah.
Something in the water with city kickboxing.
Yeah, again, Eugene, that guy's a genius. Alex, too, he's a genius. He's a great fighter. And shit, especially if it is super convincing this time around, I may be all in with Alex Volkanovski, but I just don't want it to end in the controversial fashion. If it's going to end, let it end well, but not in a controversial fashion. And the way how tough he is, how good he is, I don't see it going by finish for either guy. That's just my 2 cents. The week after, it looks like the UFC is aiming for a fight in Kazakhstan, so this will be a new territory for him. I think there's 1 or 2 Kazakh fighters on the roster. I know most people probably don't even know where Kazakhstan is. They can't point to it on a globe. If they do know anything about Kazakhstan, all they may know is Borat, who is a fictional character. But I kind of brought this up because, well, you know, it's always cool when the UFC goes to a new place. Supposedly we go in France soon. Kazakhstan got a new area there. But it would be really cool if they got Maria Agapova, if they signed her to get on this card. That would be so cool, especially the fact that she was on the Contender Series, even if she did lose. This would be a great sign for her. I'm a big fan of hers. If you don't remember, she's the one that I sent you that clip of, that girl who head kicked the shit out of this girl and then choked her like a second later.
Oh, yeah,
with the chest tattoo and the braids.
Yes.
Yeah, that girl's fucking cool. She's from Kazakhstan, so that'd be cool if they're gonna want at least one hometown person. She could be the one. That'd be cool. So I figured that was a bit of news, new territory, and then just the prospect of having Maria Agapova on the UFC would be really cool. Okay, and for this last bit of news, we're kind of walking into this might take a while, folks, so strap yourselves in. Some comments were made by UFC middleweight champion Israel Adesanya, directed at Yoel Romero. Usual pre-fight trash talk that I guess went a bit too far to some people. And he made a comment to Romero saying that he was going to touch him and he's going to crumble like the Twin Towers. That drew the ire of many people. I have a bit to say on this, Reen, but I'm going to let you start because it might take me a while.
Okay. Well, I saw some of the controversy, the outrage, um, yeah, on social media. I did see it when he initially said it, and I had no reaction. I mean, I wasn't offended. I wasn't mad, even though I experienced being on the towers. I've been up the Twin Towers when it was there. Um, I used to live out there, not directly in New York, but I would travel up to New Jersey and whatnot. I lived on the East Coast, so yeah, I've seen the towers. I've been up there. My dad was a firefighter. Uh, he could have went to Desert Shield, Desert Storm, that as well when he was in the military. Um, he almost went out to help out with New York, towers crumbling, um, because of what happened. I still remember what happened and all the images of people jumping out of the buildings and whatnot. But I it didn't really bother me because it's been so long. I dealt with it. So, I mean, that's really all I can say. Like, I didn't really understand why people were getting so angry. He's not an American. He didn't experience what we all experienced. People just want to look for something to be mad about. I mean, he apologized too. The very next day, I think. He immediately apologized when people tweeted at him or posted something on his Instagram saying, hey, that's not cool. And he realized, okay, I should choose my words wisely. At least he did that. He wasn't being an asshole about it. And I think he was genuine about his apology. So that's really all I have to say about it.
Me personally, as far as the whole 9/11 thing, I'm on the total opposite end of the spectrum from your personal experience because I know basically no one who is affected by it. I don't have any family who lived in New York. I don't know anybody that died that day. I don't know to go to a very extreme level. I've never even been on a plane. So I have like no connection whatsoever to 9/11. Not saying that forgot about it and that it was no big deal. Of course, it was terrible. But I have like no connection to that. Obviously you do, and you have your opinion that it wasn't that big of a deal to you as far as Israel's comments here. I definitely agree with you in that sense that I don't think it was that big of a deal. I will say that it was insensitive. Does insensitive mean that you're an asshole and that you meant to say something fucked up or mean? Not necessarily. As you also mentioned, he's not American. So in these type of cases, it'd be easy to claim ignorance. But the world was on New York that day. The world was on the United States that day. It was an American travesty that happened on American soil, but it was kind of a global event. Everyone remembers what they were doing, even if you weren't here, even if you weren't affected by it. So you can't claim ignorance and say, oh, well, he didn't know what had happened. Of course, everybody knew what happened. Maybe you can debate or argue about the severity, and I think the fact that he made those comments shows that he's not too attached to it. He's not American. He hasn't spent too much time here, so he doesn't know what a touchy subject it is. When I first heard it, the media loves guys like Israel and Connor because they do talk so much. And although they're smart guys, the odds are just not in their favor that they're always going to say the right thing. They're going to say something stupid or fucked up at some point or another. And that's why people always want to talk to him because it's like, oh, it's going to be the day he's going to slip up. You play the odds long enough. It's not always going to work out in your favor. And he definitely fucked up here. He said something dumb and insensitive. And that's as far as I'll go with my critique of him. If you want to take this with a grain of salt, I understand. I am an Adesanya fan. This did nothing towards my fandom. If that affects your judgment of what I'm about to say, so be it. But I can't defend him in this instance to be like, he didn't do anything wrong. Because, yeah, it was insensitive and it hurt people. And that's unfortunate. But to the people claiming outrage, especially when you don't know anybody who may have been affected by this. I do not understand this at all. I do not understand this outrage. I feel like it's because he is a foreigner that's like, oh, you should be more sensitive to us. And I just feel like, how sensitive are you to other people, other cultures? How even aware are you of other things that aren't happening in your own country? And I'm saying this specifically to Americans, given that I am one, and this is where 9/11 happened. To those outraged by his comments, I want to ask you, how cultured are you? How knowledgeable are you about the world, about Nigeria, about the U.S. even? Are you aware of the atrocities happening in Nigeria even now? Boko Haram doing their shit down there, and the military, they're both killing, they're doing mass killings, torture, raping people on both sides. You can't get any peace over there. That's in Israel's country. I'm sure a lot of people here don't know about that. And I'm willing to bet it's a lot of people claiming outrage here. If you want to talk about being insensitive, how about our own First Lady, the American First Lady, Melania Trump? She went to Africa a few years back and she was donning a white pith helmet in front of Kenyans. That's like the most blatant symbol of racism and colonialism over there to those people. And she was probably totally unaware of it. How do you think those people felt when they saw that? What if you went to China in a t-shirt with a rising sun on it? You don't think some Chinese people are going to want to fuck you up? You're reminding them of the Nanjing massacre where hundreds of thousands of men, women, and children were brutally raped and killed by the Japanese over a few couple of days. Are you even aware of the undetonated bombs that are still in Southeast Asia? Not just Vietnamese. People die all the time from stepping on undetonated bombs from the Vietnam War all over that part of the world. How much do you know even of here? How much do you know of America? Did you know that there's several Native American tribes that also owned black slaves? Have you even heard of the Tulsa Massacre? Possibly the wealthiest segment of Black America destroyed by a mob of angry whites because there was an alleged harassment by a black person. All these things, I don't understand all this outrage about a comment that a fighter made just because of this, this American exceptionalism bullshit of you need to be wary of our feelings and aware of what we've been through, but you don't even give a shit about other people's countries or their perspective or their cultures. That was very long-winded. I'm sorry. I got kind of amped up, but...
Don't be sorry about that. That's how you felt about it. I mean, because we talk a lot of shit on this show, but when it gets down to it, it's like, yeah, we'll say it was wrong for him to say that. He apologized. He knew what he said was wrong. He runs his mouth. That's what he does. Sometimes he doesn't think when he does that. So I'm not going to completely write him off because of that. People make mistakes all the time. Don't tell me that you haven't made a fucking mistake.
The other thing is, too, is, you said, Reen, that you feel it's been some time since it's happened, so it's not such a tender subject as it might be. Mm-hmm. And I don't know how many people would be in agreement with you. I'm kind of am, but like I said, I have no real attachment there. Mm-hmm. But also, if he was gonna say this, obviously hindsight's 2020, and probably shouldn't have said it to begin with. But if you were gonna say it, if he said this like 3, 4, 5 years from now, it probably wouldn't have this kind of heat because it'd be a generation that has lived since that time. Yeah. People like you and I in our age range, we remember this clearly. Kids that are 20 years and younger, I'm not going to say they don't care about 9/11, but they don't even really know about it. They will never understand our feelings towards it. Now, granted, obviously, Israel's not that young. He's also 30. So even though he didn't quote unquote live through it here in this country, he remembers it. He saw it, at least to one extent or another. So had he done this in a few years' time, it may not have had the same bite. If he would have made like a reference to the Tulsa, Oklahoma bombing, or, there's been other Pearl Harbor, there's a lot of things that happened. Like, that was a long time ago. Even people that may have not liked this kind of be like, yeah, but it was a long time ago. It's not that big of a deal. But given that it hasn't been 20 years, I think there's that time frame too of like, maybe not too soon, but like still a little kind of too soon. It's a time frame thing as well, I think. But again, like if you want to, shouldn't say it probably. I'm not here to patrol people, but had he said it at a different time, especially in a different place, it would have gone probably nowhere. Yeah, but
maybe, but who knows with the world that we're living in now? Everything's a fucking outrage. Everybody wants to fight about everything, argue about everything, and not just have like a normal conversation and be like, yo, you know what? That's kind of insensitive, and just educate them. Some people want to just fucking like write them off and be like, no, fuck that guy. He's not my champion anymore. It's like, come on, calm down.
And if this pisses you off and you want Romero to knock him out because of this, by all means, I'm not gonna judge you. That's how you feel. That's how you feel. But I just do find it funny that a lot of people that were very insulted by this are always the people that are calling other people snowflakes for being outraged about racism and sexism and whatever real shit may be going on.
Yeah. Or they
It,
hate the military, or they hate this, or you know what I mean? It's like, come on.
yeah.
You know, when was the last time you thought about 9/11 and what happened?
Right?
Honestly,
I
everybody.
mean, not even
Honestly,
not even including September, because obviously you're gonna start thinking about it in September a little bit.
yeah. When was the last time you thought about it? You know, made you feel awful and shit. I'm sorry. I'm kind of reminded of it almost every day because my dad was a firefighter. He retired with the military. He retired with Cal Fire. I mean, I still have T-shirts from New York City firefighters. I mean, I'm getting kind of emotional thinking about it because I remember my dad giving me that shirt. It's for
Oh
like
shit.
yeah, from like fundraising. I still have that shirt in loving memory of. I still have the stickers. I have these stickers that I was supposed to put on my car. You know, this sticker clingies or whatever. Like I still have them. My dad gave them to me because he purchased a lot of them for
Hmm.
fundraisers. You know, to help out his brothers and sisters in New York. That's just my 2 cents. It's like, do you guys think about it? Seriously? Every year do you think about it? Do you stop to think about it on the anniversary? I know where I was when it happened. When I got home, I saw the images. I saw my dad's face. It's hard. Like right now, like I said, I'm getting emotional just thinking about the events that happened. Like thank God, like I didn't know anybody in the building. You know, like I think I would have been even more torn up about it.
To give you guys a little background too, just to peel the curtain back as we tend to do sometimes, we usually almost have two shows every time we do this. This isn't our first show. We usually do two because we basically pregame, if you want to call it that. And we kind of go, sometimes we just bullshit, but most of the time we're just going over the stuff and, kind of just fucking around and talking about stuff. Okay, let's talk about this and that. And I did not tell Reen about what I wanted to say here. And I didn't want her to necessarily tell me what she was going to say either. And I wanted your honest reaction, Reen, and I think I got it. And I wanted, if you had any pushback towards me and you're going to say, Juice, that's fucked up and that's wrong, and you're not thinking this thing out, I wanted to hear that out too. And the fact that, this made you emotional, I totally get it.
Yeah.
And from what you're saying too, it's like even in this, you have, I can't say fond memories because they're not fond, but obviously deep memories to it.
Hmm.
And you can separate the issue from what happened last week.
Yes, because it wasn't an issue. He just made an insensitive comment.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
That was it. I mean, he was just running his mouth. He's an entertainer. He wasn't
Mm-hmm.
trying to be hurtful.
Mm-hmm.
If he was, he wouldn't have apologized. I feel. I don't think he would have tried to apologize. I think he went on TMZ and talked about it. Like people asked him about it, and yeah, he addressed it. I respect everybody's opinions. You know what I mean? If that's how you want to feel, fine. Feel that way, but don't go attacking other people because they're fine with it.
Yeah. Yeah. Unpatriotic. And then, oh, and to the people dick riding Paulo Costa, you guys are fucking marks. And I'm just going
That
to leave that there.
Yeah, that too. It's like you need to shut your fucking mouth.
If you don't think, if you got mad because Adesanya didn't know shit about this, or he was an asshole for doing this, he's just riding the wave. That's all Costa's
Yeah,
doing.
yeah, that one kind of bothered me a little bit. I'm like, do you even know?
Mm-hmm.
Do you even know too? Like how the world changed, how we couldn't fly for the longest time, how people were so terrified of flying. All planes were grounded. The shit that we went through. Yeah. Now I keep thinking about it. It's like, yeah, shit. I want to go look for that shirt now. I still have it like deep in my like drawer just to like look at it again and be like, yo, I tend to pull it out from time to time just to stare at it.
Damn.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I think there's a That's a good way to end on that segment. We don't have much to go here, but we still got some shit to talk. So that does it for headlines. Let's get into the one matchup that was announced, and it was a big one. Looks like we got our main event for UFC 250. Henry Cejudo is going to be fighting Jose Aldo. What the hell's wrong with me? I'm like Connor now. At UFC 250, May 19th in Sao Paulo, Brazil. So once again, Jose Aldo's getting a title match in Brazil against Henry Cejudo nonetheless. I mean, I didn't even want to, honestly, this isn't even a thing because I don't like Aljamain, because I don't like Aljamain and I like Peter Yan. I didn't even want to go through the comments because I'm like, I wasn't going to piss me off. Obviously, they have every right to be pissed off. I'm like, dude, I don't even want to go through them because I'm sure it's what we're all feeling. Like, I don't think I'm going to see anything in there that I haven't already felt or thought.
About what? Like, it's wrong that this is happening?
Yeah, and at the same time, I know I'm just going to mark out in a month or two when they do the fucking promo for it. Just like I was speaking of Adesanya, like we were Adesanya Romero. I'm like, this is bullshit. This shouldn't be happening. And then that promo came out. I'm like, fuck, this is fire.
That's funny. I'm actually not bothered by this fight, to be honest with you.
Is it just because you've accepted the norm now?
Yes, I'm woke with what's going on, what's been happening with the UFC, and everybody else needs to hop on that bandwagon.
Are you woke, though? Are you woke?
Yeah, because now I'm just like, it's entertainment. I'm always thinking about, okay, why did they make this fight? Because of what? What's drawing them to make this fight? Numbers, pay-per-views, social media numbers, polls that they're doing. They're looking at all that. They're looking at all of it 30, 60, 90, 120 days out and planning all these cards and trying to balance it. They need title fights. This is the most intriguing one now. Henry got rid of his belt. Finally, we got a flyweight title match coming up. Here's the next one, because Henry's driven. He's motivated to fight Jose Aldo. So here we are. I think that's more exciting than any of the fights that are happening right now. All around. I'm not saying as a hardcore. I'm not saying as a hardcore. I didn't finish. And I'm not saying as hardcore, but just all around. Because Jose is a name, right? Even non-hardcores who knows who Jose Aldo is, right? Because he fought Conor McGregor. So it's going to bring those people out. The capitals.
That's kind of where I draw the line. It's that exactly what you just said about Jose. Jose's not a draw. He never has been. The people that do know him for the Conor fight only laugh at him. Haha, 13 seconds.
And regardless, it's still shining. People still know him regardless. He got knocked out in 13 seconds. People see that, highlight when they, pull up Conor McGregor as a search. I'm sure it pops up.
They know him.
But if they pull up Conor McGregor or whatever, Aljamain's not pulling up. Peter Yan's not going to pull up.
They know Jose, but they don't root for him. And in Cejudo's case, not a lot of people even know Cejudo, and very few people root for him. So that's why I think this fight's kind of just nonsense. I understand what you're saying about the whole it sells and this and that. This is going to sell in Brazil for sure. And maybe that's like the main reason they did it.
That's another reason why they did it. Because it's in Brazil. They're giving it to Jose.
I got to be honest here, and I'm basically one of these guys that basically does buy every pay-per-view because I am a mark. But this is one that I actually may skip because I'm considering that because I've not seen great fights on this one so far. Brazil cards aren't the greatest anyway. I don't really care who wins this fight because I don't think it's going to be like a fucking war anyway. As good as Aldo looked against Moraes, it still wasn't the best. I don't even know what to make of the fight when it's going to come out. And I think one thing that's really not going to help it, Khabib and motherfucking Ferguson are supposed to fight the month before. And regardless of how that fight turns out, Khabib could slaughter him for 5 rounds. Ferguson could slice him up and submit him in 2. Who the fuck knows is going to happen? Whatever happens with that fight is going to be the most high-level MMA fight possibly It's to me the most significant fight since Aldo and McGregor. It is one for the books. It is one for the ages.
Yeah.
And then next month you're gonna have Cejudo and Aldo. Fuck this noise, man.
That's another thing. Like I'm sure they're gonna use that knockout of Jose on loop for the countdown shows and everything for the title shot, the title fight against Cejudo. Like it's all part of the process. It's all about numbers. That's all. Hopefully, Jose can knock out Cejudo. Not literally knock him out, but just knock him out of the picture so we can just continue to have the ball rolling. Because you have Sterling that's waiting, you have Yan that's waiting, you have Sandhagen that's waiting. There's 3 legit contenders that are ready to fight. But they can't because they have to go through this now. They have to watch Jose Aldo get this title shot. So I just want to hurry up and get it over with. And then get back to the picture. And hopefully, I can't believe I'm saying this. Hopefully Aldo has the belt.
I mean, it'd be a good... Yeah, and then they're going to do that thing too. Of course, he can be a double champ and he's going to be in the history books and all that. But I don't know.
No.
I don't know.
I just want the cringe to end. It's going to come full force, I think.
I don't think so.
You don't think so? He hasn't settled down?
Now
he has a girlfriend. Yeah, the cringe. Yeah, he's the cringe. Like, he has a girlfriend. It seems like it's, like, leveling up. Because he has this, like, confidence now.
Well, there was that thing last week with the Aljamaima Sterling comment.
Oh, God, yeah. I did see that.
Yeah, but... and Peter Yan not speaking... I don't know when he got all fucking MAGA on us. I don't fucking Henry, man. I don't know.
He's trying to shit talk, and he doesn't know how to shit talk right.
Clearly.
He got a girlfriend now, and he thinks he's all manly, I guess, and he's trying to shit talk, but he doesn't know how to shit talk right.
She's writing his lines for him and shit.
Maybe.
I don't know. Well, that's that. I mean, we have a difference of opinion here, I guess. I guess when the fight comes, we'll see what's up. You know me, I'm the one always saying that there's entertainment, it's a shit show, and who gives a shit. But I'm okay with it when it's a hell of a matchup. But in this case, I just don't think it's that great of a matchup.
This is reality TV. This title fight is reality TV.
Frankly, I think aside from Brazilians, the only other people that this fight is marketed towards is the hardcores that, the ones that grew up loving WEC and saw Jose Aldo on the rise, the ones that were like the number one Jose Aldo fans, the ones that cried when Conor starched them, those ones. It's like, all right, we're going to make it up to you. You never got that Conor rematch where he can win another belt.
Yeah, of course. Exactly.
I think that's what this is for. And frankly, although Aldo's a great athlete and I give him all my respect, fuck those people. Fuck them.
Reality TV, homeboy. It's almost like Real Housewives of Atlanta.
That's all you, homegirl. I got nothing on that.
Oh, okay. Lots of good material. Certain things come out. I don't know what's gonna come out with Henry Cejudo and Jose Aldo talking shit, but yeah, we'll see what happens. Most of this is all reality TV now for me. The whole 3-piece in a soda and all this like fake beef that's going on with Usman and Masvidal.
I'll end it with this because of what you were just saying. Times like this where I'm like, shit, maybe we chose the wrong time to do a podcast because we're too deep in now. We can't go back. Our eyes can't, we've seen how the sausage is made. Yeah, we've known these things for a few years just in our own personal experience in the fight game. And now it's like, fuck, I covered Logan Paul and KSI for fuck's sake, man. Like, can't come back from that shit.
You can't come back
from it. Yeah, willingly.
You were there. Yes, see?
I didn't even get paid for it.
Exactly. And then you're like over here like, oh my God, that's crazy, Irina. He's not a draw and this and that and blah, blah. They don't care. It's like they're going to look at overall numbers. They're going to fucking use that 13-second knockout on loop over and over and over again. They're gonna use Connor and that shit too. Draw all these fucking like pay-per-view numbers somehow. Yeah, it's a shit show. They can't do that with Sterling. They can't do that with Yan.
I covered KSI and Logan Paul, and all I got is a $15 voucher for peanuts and a Coke at the Staples Center.
Did you
That's
get
my
it?
claim to fame. Yeah, I got it.
You claimed it? Okay.
Fuck yeah. I had to get something out of it.
Give my shit.
I probably could have got alcohol because of what Ann says. They don't really give a shit about the alcohol drinking, but like, nah. I'll still have a semblance of professionalism. God knows why. But
well, good for you, because I'm sure everybody else was doing coke or some shit.
Yeah, that does it for MMA. So let's get into our news story of the week. Headline is Hot Pockets heiress Michelle Genovese sentenced to 5 months imprisonment in college admission scam. So back to Reen's favorite story of the college admission scandal. Yeah, this girl, she's the heiress to I don't know if it was her dad or granddad that created Hot Pockets. They don't own it anymore. It was sold to Nestle. But anyway, she was one of the most culpable of all the rich fucking people that got involved in this bullshit. She got multiple kids in on this. I think it was 3 of them. One of them as a fake beach volleyball recruit. They paid like I think $100,000 for that. She also paid $50,000 to cheat on one of her daughter's ACT exam. All kinds of shit was going on here. So the main reason I wanted to cover this, obviously because it's Reen's favorite subject, but the second reason is because I just find it so ironic that college students getting fucked out of their chance to go and get an education was by the people that made the food that they were going to be most dependent on for the next 4 or 5 years of their lives.
You know what's funny to me? That she had 3 kids and all 3 of her kids are fucking failures. Not one of them could try to succeed on their own.
Reen, their parents made Hot Pockets. I mean, they became millionaires and shit, but I mean, is that great of an achievement?
I mean, they couldn't like hire teachers or I don't know, take them to Kumon class or some shit and did extra work and actually did everything on their own. Like she straight up paid for all 3 of her kids. One wasn't even like ready to go to college yet, but she wanted to make sure she got that cheap money so that 3rd child can go to Georgetown. Yeah, it wasn't USC. It was Georgetown. There's a different school she was trying to get her kid to go into. Cheat her way into it.
Thank you for getting that Kumon sponsorship in there, too. Getting that big Kumon sponsorship money.
Man, I used to go to it when I was in Japan. Off base.
That's not a Japanese thing, is it?
Yes, it is. Kumon.
Holy shit. Yeah, figures. I should have known that.
Exactly. White people didn't fucking invent that.
I had it. Well, yeah, but they beat you with canes over there and shit. It's different over there.
Dude, they did extra work. Man, they had to wear uniforms. They have to wear like a certain backpack, right? Shoes and everything. You need to be fitted for your PE clothes, everything. Damn. And you had to go to like extra educational shit after school too, and went to school on a Saturday. Come on.
Yeah. And we wonder why the Asians are kicking our ass in education. Nope.
If you're Asian mom, you had to cheat 3 of your K's way into it. Like, you might as well just how to key yourself. Because you completely failed, like, the family. I'm serious. You would be ashamed. You would not show your face at family events. I'm sorry.
That hurts me.
Yeah, this whole sentencing thing and her being fine ain't nothing. If she was in the Asian family, well, I mean, it wouldn't happen in the first place. But I'm saying, if it was an Asian family, she would not be going to family events.
Can we get homeboy from the OJ trial? What's his name? Ito?
Oh, God.
Judge Ito? Let that motherfucker preside over these fucking hearings.
Good Lord.
This would curb stomp every single one of these white motherfuckers.
Oh my god, so crazy, man.
And I
Like
know they're not all white, but I'm assuming they mostly are.
I think so. Mostly have been, right?
Oh my god.
Yeah, like posing as a fake volleyball player. How tall was she? Like 5'5"? I mean, did she really pass? That's what I want to know.
Well, yeah, they would like Photoshop pictures and shit. Like that was like a big thing of it. And rowers and lacrosse and all these fucking sports that nobody gives a shit about.
Oh my god, so crazy.
Yeah.
With technology today, like the way it goes, like you can have anybody just take your test or write your papers or that's why so many like degrees are like irrelevant for some companies. They want to know that you can do the work. I mean, even Elon Musk came out was like, I don't care if you have a college degree. You have to prove to me that you can do the work. Apple has even changed their criteria. I
And
think even Google too.
Google and Facebook, I think too.
Yeah, because I mean, even though these guys have like computer science degrees, like they don't know how to program. They don't know how to code. They know the algorithms and how that works and all that in-depth stuff, but not really to code from scratch. I mean, hopefully with these cases popping up more and more, like people will start to realize like college really is a scam. Like, why are you paying so much money to go to college and being in debt and shit when it really is just a piece of paper? You can't do the work. What's the point?
There you go. I couldn't have said it much better than that. One last thing though, just because I'm curious, does Kumon mean anything? Does that word mean anything?
God, I forgot what it meant. What it actually meant.
It's a Japanese word, right?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. It had a face. It looked like a little kid's face.
Kumon Kyoshitsu means like the Kumon school, but I'm not sure what Kumon actually really meant. Oh, it's the guy's name. Kumon was founded by Toru Kumon, a Japanese educator in 1958. So it's just his name.
Oh, okay. I figured it might maybe a name or like the city where it started or something. But okay, there you go. Now you learn something. Unlike these fucking kids. Anyway,
they should go to Kumon. Shit.
That does it for us. That does it for tonight. Thank you guys for listening. Thank you for bearing through that. We covered a lot tonight. Even though there's dick all happening with fights this weekend, we covered a lot. So thanks again for sticking with us. You can find me online on Twitter and Instagram at juice_MMA. Green?
Fox with you on Instagram and Twitter.
And you can follow the podcast page at iFoxWithJuice on Twitter and Instagram. We're everywhere podcasts are. iTunes, Spotify, Spreaker, you name it, we're there. Catch you all next week. Hopefully this card is better than we anticipated. We have a lot to talk about. But even on 3 fights that we covered here, we still had a lot to talk about. So you can count on us to keep blabbing on. So thank you all. See you next week.
See ya.